So the question is nataka tuangalie question ya December 2022 settings. Question number 1, question number 1, question number 1B, question number 1B, question number 1B. So and then the question reads, explain five computer hardware. Explain 5 computer hardware components that are required when establishing a multimedia platform for electronic commerce. Unaona, wameweka tu vitu hapo, ndio so that they can work, they can confuse you. So they have, there is some many things there wameiweka confuse, but at the end of the day, they are simply asking about the categories. The categories of what? The categories of a computer hardware. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter wakitwist namna gani. Wakikwambia anything to do with the components, computer hardware components. The computer hardware components remains input, and then you can say just input devices, and then also remain to be what? Processing devices, and then also remain to be what? Output devices, and then also storage devices, components of a computer hardware, components of a computer hardware. And then we said yesterday, the computer hardware is the what? It is the physical and the tangible components of a computer. It is the physical and the tangible components of a computer. So these components, we have one input devices, we have the processing devices, we have the output devices, we have storage devices. So it doesn't matter what you twist in namna gani at the end of the day. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We still have also one component, maybe we didn't. We have also the peripheral. We have the peripheral devices. We also have the peripheral devices. So those are the components of a computer hardware, or categories of a computer hardware. So if you wanted to summarize this one in a simplest way, in a way that you can understand without struggling, is that anything to do with the hardware, ukisikia wakiuliza anything to do with the computer hardware, what should come to your mind? You need to know something about the input devices, likes of the keyboard, likes of the mouse, likes of touchpad, likes of joysticks, and so on and so forth. And then processing devices. The processing devices, like we discussed yesterday, we say that processing devices, we have what? We say that we have the CPU, we have the CPU, that is what? The central processing unit, And then I remember also that CPU has its components. We have 3 components. One is that we have the control unit. We have the control unit. That is one component of what? One component of the CPU. So, and then apart from the what? Apart from the control unit, we have also the ALU, or let me just write it in. So these are control unit in bracket CU, in bracket CU. And then we have also the arithmetic. We have the arithmetic logic unit. This is also another component of what? This is another component of the CPU. So we have arithmetic logic unit, which is what? ALU. So for the initials, arithmetic logic unit. And then we have also another component. We have another component that is what? The main memory, the main memory unit, the main memory unit. So for the initials MMU. So the MMU is the main memory unit. It is the main memory unit. It is the main memory unit. So this CPU is what, so these processing devices, an example of the processing devices in the computer is the what? Is the CPU. And then for CPU, iko na nini? Iko na components gapi? Tatu. We have what? The control unit, which acts as the manager. It acts as the overall manager in the CPU. Yeye ndio kusema kwa CPU. And then we have also the arithmetic logic unit, which handles the arithmetical part of the computer, that is like the multiplication, subtraction, addition, division, and so forth and so forth. And then also we have what we call the logical unit. So the logical part of the ALU, the logical part of the ALU, in a deal na nini? In a deal na logical. So logical functions, logical function. What I mean by logical functions, computer sometimes deals with this. A computer inabali determine whether a number is greater than or equal to, not equal to, okay, and then less than or equal to, and then if maybe if function, and many other complex functions. So this is what we refer as what? As a logical. This is a logical. So the logical part of, if it is anything to do with the logical, it is handled by what? By the logical unit of the what? Of the arithmetic of the ALU. So in other words, we have the ALU as 1, but we have the arithmetic part, and then we have the logical part. We have the logical part. That is something we discussed yesterday. And then we have now the main memory unit. And then yesterday we said that the main memory unit is what? It is the primary memory in the computer. It is the primary memory in a computer. And then if you have the primary memory, the computer cannot do without it. In fact, even that mobile phone you are using, without the memory, haiwezi fanya without the what? Without the memory. So the same thing applies to our computers. We have the primary memory. And then this primary memory, it is the working space. It is the working area of the what? Of the computer. For me to download Microsoft Excel, for me to download maybe Photoshop, for me to download QuickBooks, for me to work on QuickBooks, when I'm editing something, there must be the working area. Okay? So that working area is the what? Is the primary memory. The primary memory of the computer is the what? Random access memory. So this main memory unit, we have RAM, and then at the same time we have what we call the what? We have the ROM. That is ROM, random access memory, read-only memory. So we said yesterday RAM will make up to 70% of a what? Of a computer memory. And then tukasema this one, the ROM, read-only memory, is the what? Inachukua the remaining, that is 30%. So that if you say 70 plus what? It is 100%. So this one is what? Is the primary memory. It is the basic, ile yenye at least the computer require ifanye. So it means even I can use my computer without the secondary storage devices. But now the problem with that, it means that I will not save my work. And then neither will I retrieve the work in nilikuwa nimefanya previously. So we need the secondary storage devices so that we can save our work for future retrieval or for future reference. So if you need at least to save your work so that you can retrieve it in future, it is actually you need the secondary storage devices. But with primary storage devices, it means that I can open my machine, I can do what? I can do a designing. But now the problem of the primary memory that it is a volatile. It is a volatile scene. It's only work kama kuna electricity. If there is a what? Kama kuna if it is energized. Otherwise, if because of one reason or the other, if there is a blackout, it means that everything you are working, you know, it will automatically disappear. It will automatically disappear. So, as I was saying, you don't expect it to be, we don't expect the customer kuulize, oh, can you give us the components of what? Of a computer hardware. Ndio uandike tu input devices, under the input devices, we have the keying devices, we have the pointing devices. That is not the case. That is not the case. So, lazima wakusumbushe hivi. Unaona? Wakusumbushe hivi. Unaona? So, ukisumbushwa hivi kama wewe si mtu huko umesoma vizuri, it means that, you know, utaingia, you will disagree with the what? With the examiner. And then you will disagree with something small. Wewe unasema, hii kitu si tulifunzwa na mwalimu, input devices, processing devices, output devices, storage devices, the peripheral devices. Actually, peripheral devices, they are those devices which are connected outside the computer system. Okay? So, wewe utashindwa sasa na hii wameweka multimedia, wameweka e-commerce. So, hii kitu ni kitu tofauti. Hii kitu hata kufunzwa na class. You know, hapo sasa ndio utakuwa umewezwa. You know? So, unafaa ukuwe mjanja. You are supposed to be what? You are supposed to be sharp. So unasema, oh, multimedia. So it means that they need a storage. You need a storage devices so that you can store the videos, you can store what, all those things. And the videos, maybe because they are talking about the electronic commerce. The electronic commerce is a topic by its own. In the electronic commerce, we'll be discussing things to do with what? E-market, you know, where you conduct business without going to the physical market, without going to Muturwa or going to Marikiti or going to the physical. You can do business actually virtually, 100% virtually, okay? Through the electronic commerce. This electronic commerce, we have a software. You know, the customer anaenda kwa hiyo site, anatafuta product yenye anataka, wanapatana na buyer, you know, they agree, and then, you know, the buyer will send the money through the work. You know, maybe the customer kwanza, the supplier will supply the item, like the way we do, like the, you know, like Jumia. So you can say something, unaletewa that thing, and then ukishaletewa, you do what? You just pay it electronically. You don't have to go physically and take that thing. So now, this question, explain 5 computer hardware components that are required when establishing a multimedia platform for e-commerce. So kitu yenye inafaa ikuje kwa mind yako, e-commerce. Oh, ni biashara ile inafanywa online. Watu hawafai meet customers, they don't have to meet. You don't have even uone sura ya Evelyn. Evelyn anataka kuniuzia desktop. In fact, sijui kama Evelyn ni mtu wako na, you know, is physically fit, ama ni disabled. No, that is none of your business. The business is you do the transaction purely online. Purely online. So purely online. So now, ni nini unahitaji? Because wanasema the hardware. So once in storage, we need the storage because we need to be storing, you know, easy videos zenye inakuwa uploaded, you know, those are features, we need to be uploaded. So you need somewhere where you do what? You store. We need also the input because there must be aware, you know, you have to interact with the system. So somebody somewhere must type something. So we need also the input devices. And then at the same time, we need also the what we call so tukikuja input, even processing devices, we need also the output where the, you know, you will get the results. You obtain the results via the what? Via the output devices. So you can use the same, we can use the same components, but now explaining them in relation to multimedia what? In relation to the multimedia platform yenye inatumika kwa e-commerce. E-commerce, unajua kuna vitu mingi, unafaa uchukue video, uonyeshe vile hiyo gearbox inafanya, all those things, so utachukua those things, maybe you can include even now the cameras, kama hizo, but you know cameras, it is still enough, fall under the what? Under the hardware, because tumesema hardwares, they are the physical and the tangible components of a computer. Provided it is something related to the computer, and then it is something you can touch, something you can feel, something you can see with your eyes, that is the hardware. Okay? So ukiweka cameras, maybe nini, you are right. Uweke, provided something yenye unaiona. Okay? Something yenye you can see, you can touch. Something, anything that it is not touchable, it is not it is not physical, that is not an hardware. That is not an hardware. So that is how you will be asked a question. Hivyo ndio utaulizwa maswali kwa nini kwa in your exam. So unavaa ukuwe mjanja. So usikuwe tu ukuwe plain. No. You know, they know that this student ako wewe ni mjanja na wao ni wajanja zaidi. So you have to be very keen, especially when you are solving those questions. It is one and the same thing. So from today onwards, my students, I don't want you to have any problem with the computer hardware. Tumesema computer hardware, they are the physical and the tangible components of a computer. And then we have only 5 components of a computer.